welcome to the stream. I am already quite sleepy, so I am probably going to be a bit low energy today. But hopefully that will fulfill your needs. Anyways, I am meant to go to bed soon, but I have thought about hopefully giving you all a life update as to how I'm going and stuff. So, getting into things, I should move a bit closer to my microphone so the, microphone isn't being drowned out by the audio. Anyways, I hope you are all doing well today, because I am doing okay too. I had an important appointment at the hospital today. Yay! So, yeah, the appointment at the hospital, yay. It was for sleep apnea, so I now have officially the forms to get a CPAP machine, because it turns out my sleepiness is probably sleep apnea. Which, I guess shouldn't be too surprising. I've been sleepy a long time. Still sleepy right now, actually. But that's because I took tablets to make me sleepy. Anyways, the hospital was nice. The experience was nice. It wasn't all too bad and stuff. It was mainly a lot of waiting. So I went in, I asked reception, hey, how do I get to this place? The reception lady gave me a tiny little map and drew on it, which was nice of her. And then I went to the elevators, which took me upstairs, and went to the place. And I waited. Hey, Hikaru Zanza. Hi, Hikaru. Welcome. I hope you're doing well today. I'm just giving some updates. So I went to the hospital today, sleep apnea reasons. Getting approval for a CPAP machine paid for by the government, which is good. I like that. Sleep apnea is very scary, and I don't like it. Well, not just scary, but very annoying in particular. It makes me way too sleepy and sleepy tired all the time, which is just annoying, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's just annoying. But regardless, it is making me happy that I am now going to be able to get stuff fixed up. Yay! There's also a couple of other little things. So, anyways, as I was talking about, I went to the hospital, went to the reception desk. The receptionist working there gave me a map that pointed the way to the place and was very nice. And basically after that, I went to the doctor clinic place where I was going to, and then pretty much basically I just saw the doctor after waiting for 20 minutes first I got a nurse coming up to take my observations, just to make sure I wasn't in a medical emergency or something. I'm pretty sure that's what the nurses and stuff do. But anyways, after I did that, she sent me back out and I waited for a while. I also noticed something extremely interesting, or less extremely interesting, and more kind of interesting. Also, hold on a sec, I will probably freeze for a second. I will be right back. I am simply frozen. Okay, back to non-frozen Ico. Yay! Anyways, as I have been saying, I was happy because I did a bunch. Because I talked to the doctor said basically, you have to do this test thing, rent a CPAP machine for a month or two, and then we get to see the data and you get to know if you have the chance to have a CPAP machine for free given to you. Although he did tell me that you also kind of don't get the masks and stuff for free. You have to buy those yourself, which is not very nice to hear. But it's okay. I'm sure it will be okay. Anyways, after that, I basically just went home. Yeah. There wasn't much, really. Also, my grandma is over tonight. Yay, which is nice. I like that she's over. She's always a nice person. She's recovering a bit from the stress that happened to my grandfather. That was like, yeah, he wasn't doing quite so well, but he's doing a lot better now than he was before. Yeah. Wait, I am asleep. Anyways, that's that. And also, in more slightly different news, I have managed to actually neaten up my desktop, which is nice. And by desktop, I don't mean my desktop on the desktop computer. I mean the desktop of my desk. It's nice and clean now, and it actually doesn't look like a complete and total garbage fire. Which is what it looked like for a while, I'll be honest. It's also good because I plan to do some more stuff at the desk now. Yay! The desk is nice. I like it. I like it a lot. I like my desk. And thank you, Zanza. I am happy that everything is going well too. Also, you probably noticed recently, but I've switched recently to a PlayStation 5 controller because my old Xbox controller used micro USB, which is not a good type of connector at all. Which, by the way, also fun fact, the only place at the hospital where I saw chargers available for free that only had micro USB chargers. So presumably you're meant to plug in your own charger into them, but still, it's annoying not seeing any charger outside of a micro USB charger. Regardless, I am happy that I don't have to worry about the hospital appointment anymore. Now I just have to, go and get some thingies done. Hi, Kurt, Army Productions. Hi, Kurt. Welcome. I'm talking about some life update stuff. But yeah, regardless of what else happened, basically, the thing that really happened in the end was I ended up happy. Well, actually, that's not the complete and total story. The complete and total story is I came home, I loitered around for a while. I was planning to stream a lot earlier, actually, about this. But this stream will have to be extremely, extremely short because, streaming earlier is certainly a thing that does indeed happen. But also, so is not really streaming at a great time. But hey, it's okay. Yay! I am happy now that I don't have to worry about getting a, CPAP machine with like more than with like an actual massive cost, because CPAP machines are like, they're like $999. Did you know that? Did you know that CPAPs are 999 Australian dollars? You probably didn't, so I am informing you of that fact now, which is sad and annoying. But regardless, on to slightly different news. Anyways, yeah, I was talking about I already gave a little talk about my desk organization, but let me just explain it a little bit more clearly. So, I used to have one of those desk arms that was like, hey, this desk arm is going to be nice and long, and it doesn't have any like moving gas parts or anything. However, well, that one started sagging all the time, and it really wasn't the most high quality desk monitor arm. So I decided to get a different one instead. And I got one called, the name isn't gonna like be any particular doxing information or anything, but I got one called Altus, Altus. Kind of. For a second I thought it was spelled Atlas, but just 1,000 casually. Does it at least have gold in it? No, unfortunately not. It has lots of nice machinery, but no gold. Also, hi Heiko, Daza. Hi Heiko, I hope it helps with sleep too. I do not have the CPAP machine yet. I am hopefully going to be getting it on Monday, because local places are not quite open tomorrow, or at least not open in a way that I can access them super easily. Although maybe it would be a good idea to go there anyway instead of doing what I would be normally doing that day, but I like doing the thing that I normally do on that day at that time. It's nice and fun, which is usually play a card game, Yu-Gi-Oh, which I play a lot on here as well, because I like the game. It's fun, okay? Yay. Anyways, as I was saying, desk organization, yes, laptop arm. Yes, I got the laptop arm. The new laptop arm. It's one of those spring-loaded ones that actually has some, like, actual mechanisms and is actually decently heavy-duty. It's quite nice. I also made myself a camera setup for if I want to do remote duels on stream, which I probably will not do for a very long while. But I might do at some point. It's also good for hand cams, especially since I have a Yu-Gi-Oh desk mat as like a mouse pad. I have my two stream decks over to the right, my audio interface, the Rode Streamer X over to the left. Hi, Zootomi. Hi, welcome. Just talking about my new desk upgrade, so yeah. Stream decks to the right. I have an iPhone directly in front of me, which is my portal for you to see me all, of course. Yeah, I just run VTube Studio on it, but like, you know what I mean. I have my old mouse and keyboard, which I actually kind of want to replace sometime soon, but that is a multi-month thing, not something I am planning on doing immediately right away. It's something that I'm thinking of building up to over the next few months. My monitor and my second monitor, first monitor in front of me, second monitor over to the left, facing sideways, of course. It's one of those old monitors that doesn't really have VESA mounting on it, so you can't really put it on a monitor mount or anything. I've also got a couple of things, like I organized my cable setup, and I got somewhere to store some notepads that I have, which I'm using for a silly system. Your 10-year-old mouse, no keep it, sister. The ancient mouse shall reign supreme. True. Why upgrade mice when you got a new when your mouse works just fine? But really, anyways, my mouse is a bit, you know, I'd prefer a mouse with an infinite scroll wheel, to be honest. But that's a long way away. I need to save for a bit first, and saving is important. So, learning how to save is a good thing. I like saving. Well, I mean, actually, yes, I do like saving. Saving money. Saving money is very incredibly important. Otherwise, you will go completely bankrupt. Yay! Regardless, aside from that stuff I mentioned, I also have a teensy miniature calendar, which I think I might have mentioned before on a different stream, but I don't think I have mentioned it before now, so I shall still mention it. This teensy miniature calendar has a flip notebook, and the flip notebook, well, basically, I'm using it to mark which days of the week I plan to stream on. So that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. I like streaming. It's fun. Your birthday's coming up. You wouldn't know what saving money is. Nice. That's good to know. Birthdays are always exciting. But yeah, little mini calendar pad thingy that's also a bit like a notebook. It has this little this little thing on top, which notebooks have. You know what I mean when I say that, obviously. And it's got all the months, I believe, from last year to December of this year. So, exciting! I can use it for my own purposes. I've also mostly cleaned the desk of dust. Of dust, I mean, not of dusk. Dusk is a completely and totally different thing to dust. If I cleaned up dusk, that would be almost impossible because you can't really clean up the night. The night's everywhere when it's nighttime and the sun is out of the sky. That's just how dusk works. Anyways, yeah, I also got my Audio-Technica headphones. High quality. Well, actually not super high quality. They're relatively cheap quality for the... Actually, they are high quality for the price, but they are a relatively cheap set of headphones. Hi, Hiker Ivorium. Hi, Hiker. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for the compliments. Anyways, as I was saying, furthermore, I have, yes, my headphones. I have a couple of notepads and also a bunch of post-it notes that I should probably be using sometime soon. And a extension power board and also an extension cord. You mean one man wanted to drink the entire ocean? Anything is possible? True. But yeah, extension power boards are actually quite nice. I like them. And this is the kind of extension power board that also has a couple of USB and USB-C ports in it as well, which is good. I love those. USB-C ports are always important for charging things and other things as well. Anyways, I also did some reorganizing of my, basically what, yeah, you know what I mean. I did some reorganizing of my desk drawers, which my desk has. So now the top is filled with mostly stuff that I am actually going to use, as well as some sentimental stuff. So like, in here I've got like, a couple of things I won't use. I've got my old iPhone X, which I used to use for streaming, until I upgraded to an iPhone 13, which is actually a lot better for streaming now that I have actually used it lately a lot. I've got some nice pencils, some birthday cards, a nice book journal thingy, an A4 budget book thingy, which is also, I have a second budget book. Yes, I have two budget books. I think the A4 budget book is probably better to use, but I think the notebook is something that's actually a lot more convenient for me, so I will use that instead. And also I have a 512 gigabytes solid state drive. Maybe a bit of a silly thing to be excited about, but I don't use it very often. I should use it more often. Like, seriously. Okay, yeah. Anyways, continuing on, yes. 512 gigabyte SSD. And this is also why I like how my Rode Streamer X works. But, anyways, I also have a USB, well, proper USB container thingy that has all the USBs in it. And a couple of dice, couple of desiccant packets, this nifty little thing, which is I think it's a cleaner for your desk and stuff. Sounds very organized. It's not as organized as it sounds. It sounds a lot more organized than it is. I would like to organize it a lot more properly, but as for now, it's quite okay as it is. Fine enough. I'll work to organize it more in the future, but I don't mind how it is now. Well, actually, I kind of like how it is now. Anyways, continuing on from what I was saying. Stuff. Why am I saying and repeating the word stuff out loud? Because I am trying to find something that I want to say. Anyways, second drawer down just has a bunch of random text stuff. Oh, and also a water bottle cap, which I have replaced with a different water bottle cap for that water bottle. And there's there's moist wipes for smartphone cleaning, which, everyone should probably have wipes to clean their smartphone screens. That sort of thing is, you don't want a dirty smartphone screen, honestly. It's like, that always kind of sucks. Dirty smartphone screens, yeah. Not fun to use, not fun to touch, not fun at all, at least in my opinion. Next up, there is, I believe, oh yes, right. I got a Logitech keyboard as well. It's one of those miniature keyboards. It's the Pebble keys too, K380S, which is like a really nice looking miniature keyboard that you can pair to 3 different things using Bluetooth over its lifespan. It has a super long lifespan for some reason, with just one battery. Also, I have a tablet and a camera charger because I have a camera now, and I'm probably going to use the camera at some point. Not right now though, obviously. Like, why would I use the camera right now when I have a perfectly fine and good webcam? Saying that will make the webcam crash, won't it? All jokes aside, like, I like my desk, how it is now. Also, I cleaned my room, yay. And saying I cleaned my room is actually a massive achievement because my room was incredibly messy before, and it was incredibly annoying and frustrating and disorienting to have to go through my room multiple times looking for what I wanted to look for, and then simply not finding it, because if you don't find what you want to look for, you will simply find yourself looking more and more, and then more and more, and then more and more and more and more, and more and more and more and more and more and more, until you've literally wasted over half of your day looking for something very silly that you didn't need to waste that long looking for, because it was actually somewhere completely different and you just couldn't find it because you were missing it in the most obvious of places. Yes, this is not completely relevant at all. Not at all relevant. Totally not a story that I actually, that has actually happened to me in my past. Like, it's completely fine. It's not like that's happened to me at all, ever. Definitely not. Jokes aside, yes, it has happened. And it's annoying. But I did also clean up something that was an extra annoyance, which was behind my bed head, which had a lot of loose stuff. And now it has a lot less loose stuff, which makes me happy. Because seeing loose stuff makes me feel very wet and annoyed and whack, and just simply whack in general. Blech. That is a verbal description of the feeling my previous messy bedroom used to give me. Blech. Anyways, I should probably finish it up soon, but yeah. Oh yeah, another thing. Final thing. Planned upgrades. So, obviously I talked about the keyboard and mouse earlier. Like, keyboard and mouse, those are important. I think all the audio stuff I have is absolutely good enough for me as of right now. However, I want to get a third monitor at some point. Mainly because, well, a third monitor feels like it would just be extremely useful, because having 3 monitors feels like it would be extremely useful for my specific purposes. My purpose, which is basically one screen for OBS, one screen for the game, and then in one screen for the chat and stuff like that. I just think it would be neat. Also, the last screen can actually, like, do me stuff like I can run your instances of Discord on 2 different screens instead of simply just running one instance of Discord on my second screen. I can now have it on my second and my third screen. If I do so need to, at least, I mean. Which I think I would not necessarily need to, but I think it would be a very good idea to do. At the absolute least. Oh, also I've used some zip ties now. Zip ties to cable up my webcam and my microphone. Why is it called a microphone? Is it because there's a microscopic telephone in it? Blech. I don't know. Weird names aside, actually, right. No, right. Phone means phonal, which is something to do with audio. Micro. Well, yeah, micro is just tiny stuff, so, you know. Microphone. The microphone. Making silly accents makes me laugh. I like making silly accents. It's fun. Anyways, now that I have given some updates on where I'm at, because it's not a megaphone. You know what? Fair enough. But as I was saying, now that I have given updates... Also, hi Kerr, bulky thing. Hi Kerr. Welcome. Though unfortunately, you came at a pretty unfortunate time because I am just about to sign off for the night because I am already up a bit late. And I do not want to, you know... I don't want to stay up too late. That'd be a bad idea. I don't like having bad ideas affecting me, so... Sleep time. Alright. Good night, everyone. I hope you all have a good morning, evening, midnight, midday, or afternoon, wherever you live in the world. I hope you are having a fantastic time, you have a wonderful day, and you all are very happy today and successful at stuff. With that said, bye-bye, Kerr, everyone. Bye-bye, Kerr. See you. Love you all. Bye-bye, Kerr. If anyone missed any of my stream, you can watch the VOD on YouTube. By the way, that is a very important thing. Or you can watch it on Twitch Turbo if you prefer the Twitch Turbo thingy. The Twitch media player, which I don't think I've ever met anyone who has ever preferred the Twitch media player, but that is definitely a thing. But anyways, bye-bye. Bye-bye, Kerr. Bye-bye, Kerr.